One of the things I have a problem with, and it may be controversial, a lot of people may say this and may say that. I don't like, let me say it in a manner to where it's extremely intelligent. In Christianity, it's a thing where people praise the Son more than they praise the Father. And that's what I don't like.
Okay.
Because if we are man made in a likeness, Jesus is our brother. You get what I'm saying? Why would I drop down and praise my brother instead of praising my father? And that goes back to honoring your parents.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I need your help on this. You weren't raised in church, were you?
My grandmother on my dad's side took my pops to church 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 2 times a day.
What about you?
I'm a product of that.
Okay.
That veered my father away from church.
Wow.
I wasn't in church every day and all this.
Good.
I was not. I can't say.
Which is
but
good.
I still receive what he felt. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's a generational thing.
Yes,
that gets
yes,
passed
sir.
down.
Yes, sir.
So whether I feel it the way he felt it or not, I still feel it secondhand. You feel me?
Well, let me tell you why I said that. It's because I appreciate and love when people did not have to be forced to go to church and have stuff thrown down their throats, because it gives them a different way to paint their picture of the journey.
I get what you're saying. But going to church isn't the solution, man.
Okay. What's going on, y'all? It's Pilgrims in the Earth once again. Pilgrims in the Earth, first and foremost. All praises be to the Most High. Yeah, man. So let me touch on this, right? So I watched the video from this young brother, NLE Choppa. I believe he's early 20s. I don't think he's no more than 25. But what it sounds like here is spiritual revolution, right? The first sign of spiritual revolution, it usually happens with the youth, right? Where you have, it looks like a rebellion against religion nowadays, right? When you go into a Christian church, what do you see? Do you see the young men? Do you see the young men? Young men are the progenitors. Young men are the innovators of a culture. If you don't see young men, you see a collapse of what that religion is. You see homosexual men. You see mothers, single mothers in those churches. You see the elderly. So you don't see young men. Young men, like the Bible tells you, from the mouths of babes. Young men are the ones that saying, that's enough. We had enough. Christianity is not the way to the gateway to get into Christ. Christianity is psychology. That's what you see right here when you see Kirk Franklin talking to, he's trying to play psychology on the brother. He's trying to make him believe that whatever spiritual intervention that he had, because I watched the previous video, actually, y'all can go watch it. He said he basically, he went back to his hometown in Memphis, Tennessee, and he sat there for a while, and he kind of went through a sense of detox. I'm sure if the young brother is a rapper, he's been exposed to a lot of things in the industry, a lot of satanic activities, things like that. You know how demonic and disturbing that type of stuff is in that industry. So he had to go back home, sit there. He said he read the Bible, he listened to God. Usually, I don't care who you are, when you're searching for the Most High, he will answer. When you're searching for the Most High, he will answer. The problem is with Christianity, they're not searching for the Most High. They're being pacified with the music. They're being pacified with the hooping and the hollering. They just want to hear you give a motivational speech. That's what Christianity is now, modern day Christianity. But speaking of, when he speaks of, we shouldn't praise the Son. We should give praise to the Father, honor the Father. That makes more sense than, that makes perfect sense. Of course, yeah, honor to our Savior, of course. But he's on the right path. He's on the right path. He's on a better path than Kirk Franklin is, or anybody probably in that room. What did Christ say? No man cometh to the Father but through me. Right? So there's a distinction. Why callest thou me good? There's only one good, right? If they were one, then he would have said, okay, yeah, he wouldn't have said that. He would have made a distinction. He made a distinction. The scriptures show a difference between the two. A lot of Christians, they'll try to explain it off like, oh, he's the avatar, or he's the God, or the Most High, the Father, manifested in the flesh. However you want to word that. This is what it is, right? I will ask people this, right? When you read Matthew chapter 24, and I'm not trying to go to church on y'all, but I'm going to just go ahead and drop a couple references. When you go to Matthew chapter 24, Christ, he doesn't even know when he's going to be told by his Father when to return the second time, right? To put all things under his feet. So there's obviously a distinction. So if you're saying that he's manifested in the flesh, but he's different from his Father in the heavens, or he's the same as his Father in the heavens, how is he sitting on the right side of the throne? Who's on the throne? We can go to Daniel, we can go to all that, but I really wanted to focus on what's happening with these young men nowadays. This is what's going on. What you've seen in this video is what's happening in these churches. It's what's happening in these communities. These young men are saying, hey, I see this right here. What answers do you have for me? They're going to the pastors. Hey, I have a question about this. And what they're going to do, they're going to spin you all the way around and hope you forget the question that you asked. He's specifically talking about the Son, not worshiping the Son, worshiping the Father, because the Son only came to give worship, to give good works, or to manifest what the Father wanted to be done. Christ is only doing what his Father told him to do. So he sees that for what it is. They're trying to, again, spin him around. That's their psychology. That's what Kirk Franklin, they're masters at this. These pastors, most of them are Masons anywhere. They're masters at deception. They're masters at smooth talk. And granted, most of our people want to hear it anyway. They don't want to hear, excuse me, they don't want to hear what's going on in the Bible, or what's going on, what God has to say concerning what's going on today. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear how they can sow a seed, how they can flip 100, like God is in heaven taking your money, like, hey, I'm gonna go flip this for you right quick. I don't know, man, but the young men, there's a different kind of spirit going on. That's why you see all these Negroes, these Hispanics on your American streets saying, hey, we had enough. And now it's spreading from America to Europe, the UK, to Canada. I've run into brothers from Canada with fringes on. Am I saying organizational Hebrew Israelite movement is it? No, but I think it's a step away from Christianity. And I think once one starts to question, that's when you're on the right path, because everything we've been taught has been lies. How has your pastor gotten to Christ when he had to go to a theologian college to learn what he know? Kirk Franklin, how did he know what he know? He went to theologian school, most of them. So who's over the theologian schools? Europe, Rome. Who's over Rome? The devil. So if I look at Rome, like, how did Rome end up being the authority over Christianity, or the Christ's doctrine? Because last time I checked, the disciples, after Christ was crucified or murdered, after Christ was killed, the disciples risked their lives and were being hunted down. It was a direct. The Romans were killing the disciples. The Romans were killing the Israelites. The Romans were killing the Jews. So when did they become the authority over Christ's doctrine? That's what Christians need to ask. And this is the problem. They don't do research. They don't do history. They only start at Matthew and go from Matthew, to Paul, and that's it. That should tell you it's a problem there in itself. So yeah, the young man, he's searching for direction, man. And he's on the right path. He's on the right path. Most of these pastors, you go and tell them the same thing what he just told Kirk Franklin in a room full of people, they're gonna spin you around. Oh, I know how you feel, because they trying to say that old Christianity, they trying to reinvent and push the blame on the old way. This is the new way. You get what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to force it. I know you want to. He's trying to make him identify. He's trying to make him identify with them. Once he identify with you, he's going to get you comfortable with him. That's when you gain their trust. He don't have no spiritual authority. He don't have no spiritual authority. Kirk Franklin ain't doing nothing but dancing and hollering somewhere, man. Dressing all weird at a BET award somewhere. Where the Most High called us to do that at? Man, I'm gonna tell you, the Most High will wake that young brother up. He will wake him up and have him put all that, everything that Satan gave him. He will have him take it off, the chain, the cars, and give it right back, and don't even want it no more. All you got to do is separate. So many people is coming out the world, and you will never know who it'll be. Right? It could be a rapper. It could be a singer. It could be Chris Brown. It could be NLE Choppa. You never know. But I pray for that brother, man. I pray that he finds the right way. We all search. We all trying to stay on the right path. But that's why we do videos like this. Hopefully we can gain a brother, right? But yeah, man, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We out.